From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hello, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, May 19th. A few stray showers are possible through the morning hours. Not too bad, though. They're going to linger around mainly north of Interstate I-70 during the afternoon hours, so drivers should get plenty of laps in at the practice rounds at the track today. Highs are going to get to the upper 70s to low 80s, so certainly a lot warmer than we've been used to today. Now to news that just broke this morning, just after 10 o'clock. We were expecting an announcement from Mayor Joe Hogsett and Dr. Virginia Kane with the Marion County Health Department this morning regarding the regulations, mask mandates, any restrictions as far as COVID-19 is concerned in Marion County. So until now, Marion County has been a county that has stricter regulations than the state, than other parts of the state, which was passed by the local city-county council as part of a new law that is giving power to those local governments there. Just this morning, moments ago, we did learn that according to Dr. Kane and Mayor Hogsett, they are prepared to recommend that Indianapolis relax its restrictions even more very soon, giving the date of June 7th. Here's Mayor Joe Hogsett.
On June the 7th, we anticipate that we will be in a position to further loosen public health restrictions. So, you may ask, why June 7th? Well, several reasons. Most importantly, that's another 2.5 weeks worth of shots in arms that will increase our community's vaccination rate, further hampering the potential spread of the virus. Additionally, June 7th would get us beyond one of the largest events, if not the largest event in the world since the start of the pandemic, this year's Indianapolis 500. And frankly, June the 7th gets us past many other important events, graduations, proms, and more that will be held before the end of this month or in the early days of next month.
And as Mayor Hogsett also pointed out, June 7th is also the date that the Indianapolis City-County Council will reconvene for their next meeting. So this is important because now, due to the recently passed law through the Indiana General Assembly, those local county governments, as I mentioned, have the authority to relax or make stricter those health emergency laws. So anything regarding pandemic restrictions has to go through them for approval. So everything that you're hearing this morning from Mayor Hogsett and for Dr. Virginia Kane will be recommendations to the City-County Council, which last time they voted, they did side with the health department and did decide to go to stricter regulations. So as Mayor Hogsett says, he does believe that they will accept those recommendations. And here's more about what he has to say moving forward.
Additionally, at that time, all of us who are fully vaccinated will no longer need to wear their masks unless a business or a venue asks that you do so.
Now, as far as large gatherings are concerned, Dr. Virginia Kane gave us very specific update of what the health department will be recommending to the City-County Council.
Now, in addition, these data changes significantly on June the 7th. We will also be recommending to the council a loosening of capacity restrictions. So religious services and funerals will move up to 100% capacity. Indoor sporting events will move to 50% capacity. Limits on large gatherings will increase from 50 to 500 people. Indoor services at bars, restaurants, and other businesses all will move up to 75% capacity. Personal service businesses will no longer have to be by appointment only, but we ask that you make sure that capacity allows for 6 feet of social distancing between your non-vaccinated clients. And entertainment and culture venues can now host up to 75% capacity.
Dr. Kane went on to say that the health department will recommend a full loosening of restrictions, meaning completely going back to what it was before the pandemic, when our rate of vaccination is 50%, meaning 50% of Marion County population is fully vaccinated, and when cases reach maximum 100 cases per day.
It is my hope, and I have confidence in our city, that we will reach this milestone by this 4th of July.
So again, June 7th is the date that the health department will be recommending to the City County Council to lift restrictions more, not completely, but more, meaning that the vaccinated will no longer have to wear masks if you are not required by the specific company or business where you are attending. You can find much more about this, all the developments that follow out of this, online at wishtv.com. All right, now outside of that breaking news, there's another major chain changing its mask rules. It came in before the announcement this morning. This time it's Giant Eagle, which operates Get-Go convenience stores across Indiana, and the Market District grocery store in Carmel. Starting Monday, employees and guests who are fully vaccinated against the coronavirus will not have to wear masks. People who are not fully vaccinated will still be required to wear one. A new report from the CDC shows how much lower vaccination rates are in rural areas than in and around cities. According to the agency, 38.9% of people in rural counties got the shot through April 10th. That's compared to 45.7% in urban counties. The report added that people in the rural areas are at increased risk for severe COVID-19. The White House COVID-19 response team says it's sending more vaccines to rural health clinics to boost rates, and that FEMA is focusing on smaller community-based sites and pop-up clinics. Governor Holcomb is defending his decision to end the boost in payments for unemployment benefits. 1 month from today, the state will drop out of the federal program that pays an extra $300 per week in benefits. The move also ends the extension of benefits beyond the normal 26 weeks and stops payments for self-employed, contracted, and gig workers. Holcomb says there are plenty of opportunities for people to find work.
Yeah, every day I'm hearing from business owners who say, I'm only posting half of what I could hire. Right? So we're restricting growth by keeping people on the sidelines.
Indiana and 18 other states are ending the expanded benefits. And now to the Pacers. Some good news here. The next opponent is set as the Pacers try to stay alive in the sprint to a full playoff series. Soon after Indiana thumped Charlotte, the Washington Wizards lost the late-night play-in game, setting up a Thursday night game to decide who moves on. The winner becomes the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference and will face the top-seeded Philadelphia 76ers. The Wizards won the regular season series, beating the Pacers in all 3 matchups. Games between the two tend to be very high scoring, and the latest matchup went to overtime. The Pacers' victory last night was very impressive considering how badly hampered they are by injuries. Indiana led 40-24 after the first quarter. Extremely balanced attack. 8 Pacers scored at least 12, including Malcolm Brogdon, who had 16 points in his first game in almost a month. Karis LeVert was a late scratch because of the league's health and safety protocol. The Pacers crushed the Hornets 144-117. News 8's Charlie Clifford talked with the team after the game.
The Pacers proved in the first quarter this team is ready to steal the 8th seed on Thursday night on the road. Doug McDermott stepping in for Karis LeVert. 17 of his 21 points come in the first quarter. It turns into a dunk contest for Nate Bjorkgren's team in the second half. So where can they go? Minus LeVert, as this season extends at least one more night.
What I talked about with the team is, we've taken a lot of hits this year. There's been a lot of challenges with injuries, and we talked about got to keep moving forward, taking the hits, keep moving forward, keep getting stronger through these things that are happening.
I just feel like the team that wants to be here the most is gonna win, and I thought we came out and we really showed that we're not going to give up. We're gonna keep fighting. We want to keep playing as long as possible, and I thought it was huge to get off to that start.
Definitely energized us. I think any team playing in this format at this stage, and the season is planned as hard as they can. I think Charlotte came out and played as hard as they could. Their shots didn't fall tonight. I thought we just played a better game. Blow a team out in a playoff game or play-in game, it's huge for our confidence going forward.
The best part of Tuesday night, Malcolm Brogdon able to rest that injured hamstring. He played the first half, got to sit most of the second half. And this team, who's been through some turmoil this regular season, clearly showing Pacers Nation they stuck together. We shall see what happens Thursday night. For now, at the Fieldhouse, Charlie Clifford, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Now to North Carolina, where the district attorney is not charging deputies for the deadly shooting of a black man. The DA says the shooting was justified because he says that Andrew Brown Jr. used a vehicle as a weapon against the deputies during the serving of a warrant. The DA released body camera video publicly for the first time with that announcement. The sheriff's office says the deputies involved are keeping their jobs and will be disciplined.
While the district attorney concluded that no criminal law was violated, this was a terrible and tragic outcome, and we could do better.
Protesters marched in North Carolina after the announcement. Brown's family is calling the DA's decision both an insult and a slap in the face. Attorneys for the family say the body camera video shows Brown was no threat to deputies. The Attorney General of New York says an investigation into the Trump Organization is now a criminal matter, no longer just a civil one. Letitia James is not saying what prompted the change, but her office confirms her investigators are working with the district attorney in New York City on the issue. The DA has been looking into former President Trump and his company for 2 years. And as of this morning, there is no comment from the Trump Organization. And today, a vote in the U.S. House to create a commission to investigate the insurrection at the Capitol. It would establish a bipartisan panel to find out what happened on January 6th. It appears to have enough support in the House, though there is a clear party split. Representative Jason Crow of Colorado contends some Republicans are trying to change the story of what happened in the incursion.
We need to make a distinction between what America wants and knows that needs to happen, because what America knows is that January 6th happened. It was a terrible day. This needs to happen.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says he will vote against the bill. McCarthy says he wants the investigation to take a wider look at other issues.
When I have a commission, you should look at the whole broad spectrums. We just went through a whole summer of riots throughout this city. We should grasp that as well.
If the bill makes it through the House today, passage looks much less certain in the Senate. Under current rules, 10 Republicans would have to join the Democrats in voting for the measure. Abortion rights groups are suing the state of Indiana to block a new law. The so-called abortion reversal measure is set to take effect in July. The lawsuit argues the law will force doctors to give out misleading information. Now, the law requires doctors to tell women about a drug treatment that may be able to halt a medication-induced abortion. Indiana is one of several states with new abortion laws this year. The White House says President Biden will sign the hate crimes bill to fight Asian American discrimination. The House approved the legislation 364 to 62. All no votes came from Republicans. The bill will speed up the review of possible COVID-19 based hate crimes. Asian American violence has increased since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, Stop AAPI Hate is a group tracking reports of racism and discrimination. It says it's received more than 6,000 firsthand complaints since last year. Flooding rain is drenching East Texas and Louisiana this morning, and forecasters say it won't stop soon. There are pictures from around the area of swamped cars, trucks, and buildings. Flood warnings are up through the morning. The governor of Louisiana has declared a state of emergency. Baton Rouge has already gotten more than a foot of rain, and the floods have proven deadly. Authorities say at least 5 people have died, and 1 is missing. More deadly airstrikes hit the Gaza Strip. Video from the Israeli Air Force shows the overnight attacks. The official Palestinian news agency says the latest round of strikes killed 4 civilians, including a journalist. This morning, there is increasing pressure for Israel and Hamas to stop the violence. Several world leaders are calling for an immediate ceasefire. U.S. officials say the Biden administration is privately asking Israel to wind down its attacks on Gaza. Israel has made it clear, though, it would only agree to a ceasefire if Hamas initiates it. Hamas has rejected that proposal. Yesterday, Palestinians across Israel took part in a nationwide protest against Israeli policy. While most were peaceful, at least 3 Palestinians were killed in clashes with police in the West Bank. And now locally, an effort to help improve mental health, the Fishers Fire Department and IU Health are teaming up to bring virtual care to patients on the spot and as soon as it's needed. In 2020, they responded to more than 450 emergency incidents involving patients with behavioral issues, nearly a 16% increase compared to what the department saw in 2019. The program will provide virtual psychiatric assessments and in-home consultations for people experiencing behavior-related incidents. These are incidents related to suicide, substance abuse, or bipolar disorder. So how does it work? When the fire department responds to these calls, they have the ability to connect patients instantly with IU Health's virtual behavioral health hub. Psychiatrists and experienced psychiatric nurse practitioners are accessible 24/7 via iPads to provide patient consults and recommendations for the next steps in the patient's care. The fire department says over half of these calls apply to people under the age of 18.
What we've really watched is an 18-month-long train wreck, and I think it's really wearing on people day to day. And it'd be one thing if this was just a one-off smash and grab kind of thing, but it's not. This is just a continued thing over and over again. And with reduced access to care, it's really starting to drag on people and cause more problems at home.
So of the people we assess, only about a half of them actually need an inpatient hospitalization. The rest could be stabilized and discharged. I think we can melee maybe half of the visits to our emergency departments that are already being overwhelmed with behavioral health patients right now.
This is the first program of its kind in the state. The Fishers Fire Department has multiple firefighter paramedics trained in crisis responses. To be clear, this program will not take other service away from Fishers residents. The fire department will also help the patient schedule follow-up appointments or set up inpatient visits. And Franciscan Health also wants to help people improve their mind, body, and spirit. It's the Do Good, Feel Good 30-Day Challenge. The challenge is a wellness program to help people recenter and refocus. You do not need to schedule a doctor's appointment. All you need is your phone, and it's free to participate. Starting June 1st, participants will receive daily emails or text messages with acts of kindness and small tasks. Franciscan Health says this daily motivation will help people build new habits to continue doing beyond the 30-day challenge. It includes daily activities like writing down what you're grateful for, a reminder to hydrate, meditate, pray, or ideas to pay it forward. The program was designed after living in unprecedented times and dealing with stress. Franciscan Health says that when mental health takes a downturn, physical health can follow, whether it's from lost sleep, poor diet and exercise, or neglecting your own health as you do your best to care for your loved ones.
I think we all need some accountability. I think we all need a little bit of help, that we don't have to think about what needs to be done. And I think that's what this program kind of does, is that we deliver the message to you so simple and yet so consistent. And all you got to do is open the email or read the text and just carry on with it.
You may be wondering how to participate. Just grab your phone and go to the Wish TV app. You can find the link to this story in the As Seen On section. It's also encouraged to share inspiration with others on social media by posting a photo using the hashtag DGFGChallenge. Cars and drivers will try to find more speed at the track today, the second day of the Indy 500 practice. Will Power topped the chart so far, the only driver to top 226 miles an hour on day one. We had feared a washout, but there were just a few delays. Our sports team caught up with two former Indy 500 winners. Elio Castroneves is only running the 500. Alexander Rossi is happy to see fans again in the stands.
It was great. Last time I was in the race car, it was April 1st, so it was a long time ago. However, coming back, it feels much more comfortable. Still a little bit of changing a little bit on the seats and the paddle position, a bunch of details. I have a great group of guys here and excited it's starting.
Really, really great to be back here. Any day at IMS is a special one, and the fact that there's fans here is really, really cool. So things kind of feel a little bit back to normal, which is great. And right now we're just trying to reestablish baselines and see, what we learned from the April test.
Gates are open at the track. Practice starts at noon. And today is the return of a really popular consignment sale, Here We Grow Again. It runs through Saturday at the Hendricks County 4-H Fairgrounds in Danville. It's a place to buy and sell gently used clothes to toys. You can find practically anything that you may need for your family. Last year's event touted more than 120,000 items. The hours are 10 to 8 today, tomorrow, and Friday, then 9 to 4 on Sunday. An old building in Muncie is getting a brand new future. This is really cool. It's a 3-story garage on Washington Street that dates back a century. It has a ramp system inside to drive cars up to every floor. The new owner is Steve Myers. His plans call for several auto-based businesses, including hot rod and muscle car shops. Myers says he wants to bring back car culture to Delaware County. And finally, to business headlines, Indiana is toward the bottom of states when it comes to lifetime taxes. Self.Inc. says an Indiana resident will pay $36,000 in taxes in their life, 26% of earnings. New Jersey residents pay the most, almost half of all-time lifetime earnings, to taxes. The Emergency Broadband Benefit, or EBB, is the largest federal program ever to help people afford internet access. The EBB can cut $50 off monthly internet bills and is available to tens of millions of Americans hit economically by the coronavirus pandemic. The Seattle Times says Verizon tells some customers the EBB cannot be used on old data plans, so they'll have to switch. A Verizon spokesman said that the company makes it clear on its site that the EBB can only be used on qualifying plans. Mask mandates during the pandemic made it challenging to wear lipstick or lip gloss. Let me be the first to tell you this story is true. It has been a challenge, but with the new CDC guidelines, the beauty industry is expecting a lift in lipstick sales. In the spring of 2020, Amazon saw sales of lipstick fall by 15%. However, sales of eye makeup surged 204% year over year from April to June of 2020. Makes sense. That's from data analytics firm Kantar. Samsung and Google announced their new co-developed unified smartwatch platform. The new platform ensures a longer battery life, a more consistent and accurate health sensor technology, enhanced connectivity capabilities, while closer integration with Android OS provides more seamless connectivity between smartphone and smartwatch. Fidelity is offering accounts for teenagers to save, spend, and invest their money. The account is for teens from 13 to 17 years old, and it will allow them to deposit cash, have a debit card, and trade stocks and funds. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.